and our weekly video segment to take you into the back shelves of your local video store, back where it says horror videos, and where kids are devouring some awful films that we call the video nasties.
Are you freebasing? Inquiring minds want to know.
I have to break free from this culture of mechanical reproductions and the thick incrustations dying on the surface.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Mom with the new flesh.
The pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite. As for our deaths, come with me and be immortal.
We have such sights to show you.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Hello, horror hounds, and welcome to the It Slays podcast. I'm your humble host, Rowan.
I'm Colton.
Hi, it's Jill.
And we are back, and we are Mikeless. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. There's no way that you didn't know Mike would try to be absent on this episode because of his just vocal hate for JAWGUST all year round. And
it's disgusting.
It's horrible. And honestly, I'll be honest, I don't even feel like I have to announce it's JAWGUST because the real ones know. The real ones were waiting for it. They knew it was coming. And they were like, rub that all in and around my nipples.
And they watched it early, I'm seeing on Letterboxd. I saw Holly already watched it.
Yeah, just already feel like Star Wars. It's like, let the heat flow through you. I don't know, Mike's poisoned Holly's mind or something, so... I don't know what's going on. Holly, you gotta stop listening to Mike so much. Listen to Rowan and Colton. We got taste during JAWGUST. Taste. Anyway...
This is probably one of the roughest openings to the show in quite some time.
Love it. Always means it's gonna be good.
We're starting off JAWGUST big, everybody.
That's
Rowan's
right.
flubbing the opening.
Listen, guys, I'm hot. It's like a heat wave here. I'm dying of heat. Anyway, let's just get into it. Where we're gonna start. What have we been consuming? What have we been watching? What have we been listening to? What have we been reading? I know, all that good stuff. Jill, let's start with you. Let us know about all that pornography reading that you are usually doing.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Haven't really been reading though. I'm in the process of moving right now, and I built like my dream bookshelf, and all my books are over there, so I have like nothing to read. Plus I don't have time to read. I'm just like so busy. It's so hard being so busy. But I watched Sinners. What?
I'm just shaking my head, that's all. That was just such a dainty little line.
We're just thinking about how busy you are. Just AI images of you and famous people.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be secret and between us, but clearly not anymore. I watched Sinners. Finally, it took me this long to see it. I'm upset that I didn't go see it in the theater, but I watched it on the good old HBO Max. Because it's not Max anymore. You guys don't have that up there. It's
No.
HBO Max again, like it was originally named. It's so stupid. But anyways, I saw Sinners. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I did it for an episode of Straight Jacket Talk, which should be coming out soon. So just go listen to that. I have a lot to say about it. Probably one of my favorite releases of the year. I knew I was going to like it. And because everyone kept telling me, they're like, why haven't you seen it yet? You're going to love it. And they were right. And I should have watched it sooner. And it's probably one that I'll go back and rewatch because I really liked it. Rowan and I did an episode on the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. Go listen to that. I'm not really going to say much about it either because it'll ruin the episode. And I just did the same thing to Colton before we started recording. I was like, just go listen to the episode. And then I just gave him like the whole run through of how I thought of the movie. So I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, I don't have to listen to the episode anymore. I'm all filled in.
Exactly. And, to prepare for good old JAWGUST, my favorite time of the year, I went to the drive-in on Friday and I saw the original King Kong from 1933.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was my first time seeing it, so I feel like it was a really good setting to see it because the drive-in's like kind of a staple of the 1950s, and it's kind of like a time machine where you get to go back and see these movies kind of like how it was when they first came out. So I really love that atmosphere. They had a really cool setup. It was a whole like Godzilla versus King Kong weekend, and they had a cool stage set up with like a King Kong and a giant Godzilla that like actually blew smoke, and you could take your picture by it. And they always sell like merch and like vinyls and movies and stuff, so it's a good time. So I watched King Kong. I liked it, but King Kong's like not my favorite like creature. I guess it doesn't really excite me. It was cool to see what kind of effects they were doing at that time in the 30s, and just watching Godzilla from 1954, like right after. I know it's like almost 20 years, but you can vastly see like the difference between the two. I thought King Kong was. I could tell it was like it was probably very sexy, like at the time, like just, having a damsel like in this big giant gorilla's hand. I really like that like imagery. And it was actually pretty violent. Like King Kong doesn't give a fuck. He's just like throwing people from like skyscrapers and just like brutally killing people. So yeah, I was actually surprised at how kind of terrifying it was. Like they went there.
I'd highly suggest for you to watch the 1976 King Kong, because I really think you'd be into it.
Okay.
I call that the horniest King Kong movie ever made. It's like, it's just like movie stars really young, like Jeff Bridges, Jessica Lange, when they're like fairly young, and King Kong's just trying to like fuck everybody. I think you'd be into it. I think you would like it.
I do appreciate that, because I saw the threads of that, like the seeds of that in the original King Kong, and I was like, this is totally a monster fucking movie that just wasn't ready yet at the time, but
and I would recommend you watch 2005 or 2006's King Kong, because King Kong fights 2 or 3 T-Rexes at once.
Is that up next?
It's not for the Jack Black performance?
Well, no. It's for the T-Rex fighting. Come on. Or I don't know if they're actually T-Rexes, but they're dinosaurs that look like T-Rexes. Pretty cool.
You would know what they were. Anyways. Yeah. I don't know if I'll watch that one, but good to know. And yeah, also I saw the original Godzilla. I do prefer Godzilla as a creature, as like an icon, as a symbol. I saw Godzilla -1 in the last year, and I thought that was like one of the best things I've ever seen. So it was cool to go back and see like the original and see those ideas that have been maintained since then. And I really kind of hate all the American takes on Godzilla. Like they're not my favorite. So to see its like pure Japanese form, and especially with everything happening, I don't know, in Japan at that time, it was just, I don't know. I find it to be very like moving, and yeah, I just really like Godzilla. So that was cool.
The Cineplexes in Canada, I think next month or the month after, are bringing back Shin Godzilla in 4K.
Oh, nice.
I know some of them are doing screenings of that one.
I hear that that's a really good one.
I've never seen it. I think I'm going to go see it, though.
It's funky. That one is strange.
Yeah, everyone I know that has seen it absolutely loves it, and so I've got to see it at some point.
Maybe, have we never done a Godzilla movie on the podcast?
I don't think so.
It's been in like the final rounds of the polls a few times each year, like the listener polls, but no, I don't think we've ever covered one.
I feel like that would be a choice for JAWGUST.
I mean, Godzilla and King Kong, like really, some of the original creature features, like big ones. So,
yeah, what are we doing over here?
What are we doing with our lives?
Well, let's send Mike a mean text and get him to change his mind. Godzilla next.
Well, Mike is busy at Gwen Stefani right now. That's why he can't be here. But anyways, Colton, what have you been up to?
Oh, just working away as per usual. But I did get out to the theaters to check out a few things. The first one may be of interest to our listeners. I checked out Ari Aster's 4th feature film, Eddington, which is most definitely not a horror movie, at least not in the genre description, but it follows Joaquin Phoenix as a small-town sheriff in the year 2020, who in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic believes mask mandates and social distancing efforts are stripping away his civil liberties. And, he decides to run for mayor in his small town against Pedro Pascal. So it's a complicated movie, as you might expect. I completely understand why most people wouldn't really want to watch it, especially like in 2025. But I did think the movie did a good job of capturing kind of the mania of the time, like specifically about how we were all glued to our phones, taking in the fatality numbers like each day, different ways to like combat the pandemic, but then also the numerous like social media trends and like social causes that people were rallying around. And then, of course, how some people spent way too much time online and wound up, falling prey to grifters or conspiracy theories or whatnot. But it's just kind of a strange movie. It winds up taking like an all sides approach by showing, bad actors on both sides of the political spectrum, manipulating the moments for their benefit. And I can understand why that would piss some people off, especially where one side was manipulating people that was undoubtedly leading to like more deaths and the pandemic lasting longer. So for me, it was the sort of thing that I thought it was like a daring movie to make. It was filmed beautifully. It's acted wonderfully. And like, I feel like it'll be an important artifact in decades time for people to like revisit and just kind of relive that very like harrowing kind of crazed moment in history. For at least the first two-thirds of the movie. The third act kind of completely devolves into like a series of like fantastical firefights and is largely like just complete nonsense, I would say. But I don't know. It was an interesting watch. I kind of wish that Ari Aster would just get back to doing something that's real horror. This was like something that was probably, I don't know, on par with like Beau is Afraid for me, where it's like it has its moments, but it's meandering and it's kind of confused. And it's the sort of thing where I feel like a lot of people in the room weren't saying no to him. So it's just kind of all over the place.
Do you feel like it really held up your anti-vax stances that you've spouted out over the years?
God. It actually doesn't get into anti-vax at all. It's which I'm kind of thankful for, but he's also been saying in the press that he might be interested in developing a sequel to this movie for some reason. And it's more so focused, I would say, in like the May-June timeline of 2020 and maybe like that summer, rather than, kind of the development of the vaccine and whatnot. It's kind of like the main character is seeing all these things play out on his phone. He doesn't believe COVID to be real, or thinks that it's all a hoax, or at least something that will never affect his small town. So when these things that he's seen on his phone for so long finally gets to his small town, it kind of is like surreal in a certain way. And then the movie winds up bringing in some of the more, over the top aspects of what he saw on his phone to kind of, further distort reality in the movie. So like there's interesting stuff there. It's just, I don't know if everybody wants to relive kind of a sped up COVID-19 2020 timeline right now. And I feel like the movie probably would have been a little bit more successful if it was like divorced by like another 5 years or so.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think it's too soon for that?
Yeah, I didn't mind watching it, but I mean, there was only 4 or 5 people in my audience, and I think I saw it opening night. So it was definitely not a sold out blockbuster sort of movie. I was fine seeing it because it was, once again, it was the sort of thing where I was looking at it as more of like a historical relic, or like a piece of almost like documentary to a certain degree. Like obviously it's exaggerated, and once again the timeline is truncated. It's very much playing like every day there's a new thing that's kind of impeding Joaquin Phoenix and like his life, and finally like causing him to be like terrible and chaotic by the end of the movie. But I do remember living through that time, and it was kind of like every single day you didn't really know what to expect, and things were changing very quickly online. So it was interesting seeing that, and I was fine with seeing it in 2025. But like, let's say if I lost a loved one to COVID, or maybe if I was in some of the centers where it was far more prevalent or there was way more loss, maybe I would feel different about it, because I am kind of divorced from anything major that happened, I guess, with the actual pandemic, which That's not everyone's case. So, but yeah, overall, as a movie, I thought it was all right. It's, I don't know, it's bottom of the barrel Ari Aster, which is still better than a lot of other filmmakers, I would probably say. So the only other thing I saw worth talking about this week was The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Rowan, you haven't seen this yet, right?
I haven't seen it. It's on my list. Everyone's messaging me, so I feel like I gotta go see it. The question is, did you purchase the $79.99 Galactus head popcorn bucket?
I did not. I also never saw it at my Cineplex, so
I didn't see one. I think it was sold out. They had the ad still up on the thing, and I had a heart attack just looking at the ad and seeing a popcorn bucket with $79.99.
Yeah, that's insane. But the movie itself, it's not revolutionary in any way, shape, or form, or kind of the shot in the arm that I think most fans of the MCU were kind of hoping for. This one to me feels like they were really hyping it up for probably the last like 6 to 8 months. Like, I don't know if you guys have been watching movies in theaters, but if you're, or in like in IMAX, I mean, but they've had like specialized stingers for the Fantastic Four for a couple of different movies that I've went to see. There's just marketing everywhere for it. So it's the sort of thing where I really felt going into the movie that like Marvel really believed in this to be like a huge hit. And what I wound up finding that is like, I really appreciated like the retro futuristic aesthetic. I thought the score by Michael Giacchino, like it uses a lot of like choral voices, which I'm like a big sucker for. I love that when that's in a score. I find it makes everything feel more epic. And there was a few action set pieces throughout, specifically one that kind of involves a black hole about midway through the movie that I thought was pretty cool. But other than that, like I just found it kind of like sorely lacking in some ways. Oh, I guess like the family worked as well. Like the family relationship of the Fantastic Four. I did like them kind of playing off one another, and they all had kind of like some small moments to shine.
You're
but
saying
like
Vin Diesel would approve.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. It took me a moment to get there. Yes. Vin Diesel, he loves family. Okay. Yes. I got it. But is it full of expositional dialogue? Yes. Are the performances for the most part like a little safe or wooden? Specifically Pedro Pascal, which was a little bit disappointing to me. In the beginning of the movie, you can see that he's trying like that transatlantic accent of the time. There's like the silly fake accent, and then you could just tell that it gets phased out through the movie and he just kind of gets more lifeless and I don't know, kind of like that stern 60s kind of father figure throughout the movie, so it kind of gets a little bit boring. And the visual effects, they're pretty, bad and distracting, as you might expect from a Marvel movie in 2025 that's probably been through 10 different edits and probably shaved off 30 minutes to make it to screen. So it's the sort of thing where I did enjoy it overall a lot more than a lot of the more recent Marvel movies, but it certainly wasn't like a home run. It did feel like, it felt like a movie that should have came out about 10 years ago in a lot of aspects, but like that the writing wasn't quite up to snuff, I guess, when I was watching it. So I did think it was good overall, but it was just, I don't know. It was mixed. My friend who I went to see with it, like, she hated it. So I don't know. There's a good chance that even though I enjoyed it or like the emotional moments worked for me, they might not work for you. So
my comic book friend, a friend of mine that's heavy in the comics like me, wrote me and just said Fantastic Four was so good. So
yeah, I do think it kind of feels like a comic book series, and there is a lot of cheese in the movie, which usually I'm allergic to, but kind of like, once again, when it's coupled with that retro futurist aesthetic and clearly it's going for like a 50s or 60s thing, I didn't mind it as much being cheesy or having like really over the top villains and stuff. But obviously there's parts in the movie that kind of betray that whole conceit as well, so you can't really hand wave everything off and just say, oh, it's because it's supposed to be cheesy or hokey. It's like, no, there's definitely times when it's not supposed to be. But yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was probably the best thing they put out this year. I did prefer it a little bit more than Thunderbolts, which I think is probably a hot take. A lot of people seem to love that movie. But yeah, I mean,
not as good as Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, though.
So I've actually never seen that one. I've only seen the first one. I've never seen Rise of the Silver Surfer. But I like the Silver Surfer in here. She was great. I don't know. I'm a fan of that actress. But yeah, that's all I've been checking out. Rowan, what about you?
Yeah, so, I mean, like Jill said, I know what you did last summer. Go listen to the Now Slain. By the time this comes out, our review on The Home, James DeMonaco of The Purge fame's new film, we'll have a Now Slain out on that before this comes out, so I'm sure you guys have already listen to that. I'm just seeing that's pretty. The only other thing I won't really talk about because you never know. You never know. I did get to check out Predator, Killer of Killers. I see they're already announcing an extended cut to bring it in even more in to the universe.
We're never going to be covering this on the show, Rowan. It's fine to say whether or not you liked it.
It was fine. It was fine. I'm not going to lie. I think I liked it less than most people. It took me a couple days to finish, and I don't know how excited I am for a longer director's cut that will... Well, I'm saying we might review because we talk about all the Predator movies, and now they're saying the extended cut's going to bring it into the Predator movie universe, because apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger and Donald Glover are in
You're not getting Mike to watch a 2-hour animated Predator movie, which is essentially just Predator fights throughout history.
He's not coming.
If we can't get him to watch a large alligator stomping through the streets, he's not coming to watch Predator.
Maybe this will be our new thing. We'll just pick movies that Mike just refuses to come to. Maybe he'll get the hint. We're getting sick of them. No, I'm just kidding. We love you. We love you, Mike. We love you.
He's not listening to this.
No, he's not. So did rewatch. It was kind of weird because I did a rewatch I feel like only a month or so ago, but I was with a guy that had never seen it, so I rewatched again the original Naked Gun, but we actually watched all three this time, and I feel like I complain. I'm gonna go see the new one. I know I'm gonna go see it. I'll probably end up taking Dad to it or something.
Looks like a banger. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I'm a little less angry at it just because I thought Seth MacFarlane had more to do with it than he does. Apparently he's just the producer on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Lonely Island guys that are largely heading it up, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, I love all those movies. The second one is my favorite one, Naked Gun 2. That's the one I laughed pretty much the hardest at, but they're all good. And then to kind of follow in that theme, the same guy, we were watching movies at work and stuff. We watched Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2. I mean, if you're going to go on that train, and those are fantastic in their own right. Charlie Sheen just killing it. And we also watched Spaceballs.
Nice.
Which I feel like there was some sort of disconnect age-wise going on there, because he's in his early 20s, and I'm, old. And I'm watching it, and I'm crying, laughing, and I don't think he laughed once at it. He just was like, oh yeah.
It's the Gen Z stare.
I know. I'm geez, how does Rick Moranis not make you laugh, or Mel Brooks?
Has he even seen a Star Wars movie?
Well, that's probably a better question. I would assume so, but maybe not.
Uh-oh.
What else? I didn't watch a whole lot else. I got to talk about Mortal Kombat, The Journey Begins, that I watched.
Do you?
No, not real. That's where I ended. I watched Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. It's a really bad animated 36-minute movie, basically introducing characters. They put this out as promo for the original Mortal Kombat movie. It has cutscenes of, I don't know, it's the graphics of Nintendo 64 or maybe a little worse, early 3D graphics of the game, even though it was in the movie, it's in the movie of characters fighting, and they'll just be this, this guy has these powers, and then it's just not good. It's not good. It felt like a bootleg of something you'd get from I don't know, a bootleg copy from a Korean dealer or something of just a fake movie being made. I do remember it in the video stores though, and I had never watched it. And I watched that because I also rewatched Mortal Kombat, the old school 95 one, which has a special place in my heart. I remember seeing it in going to my local theater. I tried to go with this guy that lived in the same apartment as me. He was I don't know, he would have been 16 or something. 95, I would have been under 10. And they wouldn't let me in because it was rated R when it came out. And I couldn't get in with him. They said, no, it's got to be your real actual parent. And I begged my mom to come with us. She yelled at me and was not happy, but she did come in. And then I remember leaving and my mom just being like, that was fucking awesome. And just loving it. And I have this soft spot for that first Mortal Kombat movie. It's just a banger. I even like that really shitty Annihilation one afterwards. I used to rent it all the time. Those are just like the so bad it's good movies. So watch that. Love that one. And then the only two other movies I saw, I finally got to go see Superman. I thought it was pretty good. You know, me and Jill had a discussion. It's still hashtag not our Superman. I'm still a Man of Steel guy. I still love Man of Steel. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but
it's our opinion.
It is
so
our
fight
opinion.
Us.
It's a bad opinion, but you can have it.
But I actually did like this far more than I thought I would. I was I just was kind of scared what they do with it, and I didn't really know where they were going. Guy Gardner is like my all-time favorite Green Lantern, so I was like, oh my god, they're gonna have Guy Gardner. And I thought they did him awesome, perfect. Like, that's kind of how he is in the comics, too. Maybe even bigger of an asshole in the comics. But I thought it was cool. It was bright. It was fun. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I don't know
neither.
I don't know if I love him in that role, but he was fine. I don't know, man. I just felt that I don't know. I don't really know.
When he's screaming A1, it's so good. Come on.
Like, he had moments that I really liked. Maybe it was just me. I kind of felt like they didn't make him smart enough. Like, Lex is supposed to be, like, super smart. Like, just, you know, kind of even above Superman of, like, all this, like, overthinking. I did love the addition of Ultraman, and as a comic book nerd, I'm like, oh, sweet. Like, we're going to get, like, the Dark Justice League thing going on, where the alternate world Justice League, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, I liked it. It's very James Gunny. That's all I can really say.
It is, yeah.
And I do like his tone, but I just, it's gonna take some time, I think, because when I see it, I'm like, oh, this is like, it's the same beats as Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, he uses, like, animals a lot, and there's a lot of, like, that kind of humor. Probably the only dog I've liked in a movie in a long time. I thought the dog was the funniest bit in the whole thing, except I also really didn't like the fact that he just kept reusing the dog bit over and over again.
Yeah, Crypto kind of flies in 4 times in the movie to just demolish people. So
yeah. But overall, I liked it. Like, that's a positive. And yeah, it's just hard. It's hard because I wasn't a person that was totally against the Zack Snyder vision, not necessarily how they turned out, but the vision of that. And I almost kind of think these could have existed together. Like, they could just have the Zack Snyder universe and then the happy universe of James Gunn. As long as it's not the Josh Whedon universe, because he only did the one and it sucks. So,
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I watched that, and then the last thing I watched, I finally got to see Black Bag, which is, been on my list to see. I enjoyed it. I thought it, it's like fun, it's sexy, it's like a cool little spy thriller, but I liked it. It was more about like the relationships and this marriage than it is really about the spy stuff going on. And I mean, it's Soderbergh, like the conversations are like so well written, and I just really, I enjoyed it. I don't think, it's not like movie of the year stuff, but like for something I threw on Prime, and I'm like, all right, I kind of want to see this. I wasn't 100% sure about like paying to see it in the theater. Now I'm kind of like, if I did, I wouldn't have felt my money was lost. I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, I mean, that's all I've really been doing. Listen to a lot of Misfits lately for some reason.
Oh, so, fuck yeah. Halloween time's coming up.
Yeah, you gotta get ready. Gotta get
it's
ready.
July. Wow.
Yes.
It'll be August, I guess, when this comes
out.
It's
Summerween right now, okay?
Summerween.
That's right.
But with that, yeah. Well, it's Rowan. Why don't you announce what movie you picked? Why you chose it? Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's JAWGUST, guys. I had to pick a JAWGUST movie. Alligator, 1980. I chose this because obviously the first thing I think about, I'm like, oh, am I picking Jaws 2? Because I've never seen Jaws 2, you know, like, and then I was like, I'm trying to please Mike a little bit. And then you know what? He doesn't show up to my episode. So that's it. I'm not pleasing Mike anymore. Yeah, no, I just thought it'd be fun to do kind of a creature feature in the JAWGUST theme, but I wanted something a little older. Because, you know, I am expecting practical effects and things like that. And I was like, let's do it. I had the 4K of this. And I said, you know, why not? So that was really the only kind of reason for that. So with that, let's just get into the trailer. Alligator, 1980. We'll be back with the synopsis and first experience.
It lives 50 feet beneath the streets. It weighs over 2,000 pounds. It's killed 5 people already, and it's about to break out. Alligator, rated R.
Starts Friday at theaters and drive-ins throughout Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto.
Alligator was directed by Louis Teague and written by John Sayles, and the story is as follows. After being flushed down the toilet, baby pet alligator Ramón survives in the city sewers on a diet of discarded lab specimens injected with experimental growth hormones. 12 years later, Ramón has reached an enormous size, and humans are next on the menu.
So, our first experiences, is this our first time seeing this? Or are we just alligator boys and gals over here? And, you know, maybe have a little pet alligator ourselves, a little cutie bite in a little aquarium. Colton, is this your first time seeing alligator?
It is not my first time seeing alligator.
Which is insane. I never checked Letterboxd. I was like, there's no way anyone's really watched this. And if it was, I predicted Mike.
So I checked this out a couple of years ago. It was apparently in November of 2020. It was when my mom was out here to visit for some reason, maybe do some Christmas shopping or something. And she said, we should watch Cujo. And I was like, okay, sure. I've never seen Cujo. She was like, oh, it was the scariest movie ever when I was growing up. We got to watch Cujo. So we watched Cujo. Cujo was pretty good. I probably should have picked it at some point for the show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I wound up searching up, what else did this director direct? And lo and behold, I see a movie called Alligator. And as a kid who loved dinosaurs and who also loved alligators, as you might guess, growing up, I was like, I gotta watch the horror movie Alligator, directed by the same guy who did Cujo. So yeah, no, we watched Cujo one night, and I think we watched Alligator the next night. And then, I don't know, she probably went on back to Labrador. But yeah, it's not my first time seeing it. Jill, what about you?
Yeah, this is absolutely my first time seeing it. Not really my bag when it comes to a subgenre of horror movies or whatever you classify this as. So yeah, it's never heard of it, never seen it. It's my first time. What about you, Rowan?
Yeah, so I said I had the 4K of this, but like every other 4K I owned, the plastic wasn't even off of it. I've never seen this. I've owned the Blu-ray, and then I upgraded to the 4K. In fact, I think this was the first Scream Factory 4K I bought. Because when this came out, it was actually, like, really affordable for a 4K. I feel like I got it for, like, 20-something bucks. And I've always wanted to watch them and just never sat down. So that was half the reason I was going to pick it. I'm kind of sad with Colton's story because I was hoping that he was going to say that him and his mom went to the video store and then rented Navy SEALs, starring Charlie Sheen.
Oh, wow.
And that influenced them to buy Alligator. But I feel like I might have seen Cujo. I don't really remember.
Guys, we got to do Cujo sometime. If it was my pick for JAWGUST, Cujo. That'd be a good pick.
I've never seen it, but growing up, we had a pig. And it was named Cujo, but then we killed it and ate him.
Yeah, there was a dog down the road. What is Lassie? Is that a border collie?
I think so.
Okay. There was a dog that was down the road from me when I was growing up, and its name was Cujo, and basically it would just roam around all the time, but it looked like Lassie. So it wasn't quite as scary as Cujo. But That's what I think of when I think of Cujo.
I feel like Cujo wasn't even that scary. He was just begging it threw paint on him or something. Like
you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's a great dog performance, right up there with Beethoven.
At the TerraVision Dracula showing, like one of the things that is awesome they do in all these showings is he usually does a whole bunch of like old trailers, like you see them in the theater when they're coming out, and they played the Cujo trailer. So maybe subconsciously Cujo, Alligator, it was on my mind. Well, with that, I don't know, guys. Let's just open up the sewer caps and talk about Alligator. Let's just get into it. I'm just excited to talk about it.
Let's not waste any time, because this movie doesn't waste any time either. It's literally, I think, 2 seconds into the movie, and it's just Alligator. The title card comes up, and then I think it's like 10 seconds later, someone's getting mauled by an alligator.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, I don't remember the movie starting like this at all.
Well, and it's kind of crazy because I was looking and that like the movie is like only rated like PG or something. And I was like, this is like pretty wild for a PG movie. So all I could think about is maybe like in your situation, like kids just like, yeah, let's rent Alligator. And then just, this guy's just basically losing his leg in the like first 2 minutes of the movie.
I read something where they shaved off one of the uses of the word fuck to bring down the rating. What were you going to say, Colton?
No. I was going to say this movie does like the classic PG or maybe even PG-13 sorts of movies of the time where it's just a bunch of plastic severed limbs all throughout the movie. Like I could think about those old shark attack movies, right? It'll always be like someone will get eaten by a shark, but their arm will float up or wash up on shore, or their leg. And this movie's doing the same thing where it's just they're constantly finding, arms and legs throughout the city as remnants of these rampant alligator attacks. It's a lot of fun. It's just silly stuff.
And I will say with this, once this guy like gets his leg eaten and stuff, I've like my first note is I've never wanted a baby alligator so bad in my life. Adorable. I also like that they're just selling them at this like attraction. Like, here, buy a baby alligator.
In Florida, come on, you can believe it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's Florida.
I just mean it's like, what's this? The alligators grow. Like it's like, why are you like buying this alligator?
Plot hole.
So did anybody do a deep dive on where the urban legend of alligators in the sewers came from?
No,
based off of this
I
movie?
hope you did though.
Yeah, I did. So apparently it was really popular in the 1920s. For whatever reason, there was just a fad where people were buying alligators from Florida.
Oh,
because it was like this little loophole where apparently it wasn't. I think it was illegal to own them, but it wasn't illegal to buy them from another state. So you could buy the baby alligator, and then once it would start growing, people would be like, what are we going to do with this? And they'd flush it down the toilet, or they would just release it somewhere. So apparently, and now this is just obviously an urban legend, but like the head of like the New York City sewer system at the time, he was talking about how he had many run-ins with alligators in the sewer, but could never point to any like specific dates or specific incidents or anything like that. And I checked like Snopes, and they went through all of the headlines for New York Times all throughout history, and there was never once an alligator in the sewers in New York City. But for whatever reason, this one guy was just hyping up that they were finding alligators in the sewers all the time. And I think he was like the head of that department until like the 50s. So I think that's where the myth came from, and just from a bunch of kids buying alligator babies and flushing them down the toilets. So
that's hilarious. I don't know. I would believe it. That was one thing about the movie, like when the guy ends up in the hospital and the nurse is like, oh my God, you're crazy, alligators in the sewers. I'm like thinking that's not that crazy. Like if that actually happened nowadays, like if someone, came in even after like going through something like he did, I don't know. I think I would still believe them.
I felt really bad. Our boy Ramón getting flushed. I was like, man,
it's a heartbreaking opening. Yeah,
it's really sad. Ramon's just chilling. He's not doing anything wrong. Well, I guess they said he pooped in the laundry or something.
Yeah, gator turds.
To be fair, he has a pretty shitty like substrate that he's living on. It's a bunch of like little colored marbles or something.
So you're arguing that he liked the
ideal.
sewer better. It was for the best.
Well, I mean, he thrived in the sewer. We all saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
He did well down there.
He flourished. He
Exactly.
thrived. He persisted.
And I'm thinking, we talked about how the beginning of this like starts off so quick, but like, hey, this movie's like runtime is not long. It's like, an hour and a half, hour 36 or something. But like, it really does. Like, I found the whole movie's like pretty just like go because like we get Ramón dumped. I thought we got the right amount of, the preamble. You got to get into like the cop, and I absolutely adored this entire movie how they just kept bringing up how the main guy was going bald.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. Jill, what's scarier, giant alligators in the sewers or male pattern baldness?
So it really depends on how the person deals with the baldness, because the other day I was at the DMV and I was behind this guy who just had like one little patch on the back of his head. It was just a little tiny patch, and also like a braided ponytail hanging from that one tiny patch. And at that point, you have to let go, man. So like, there's lots of things you can do nowadays to, grow your hair back, or, wear a wig, or just shave it off. Being bald, nothing to be ashamed about.
Go to Turkey.
I think it's scarier than the alligator, because honestly, and I was thinking this afterwards, this is just a Frankenstein story. This is... We can bring this all back to Frankenstein.
Why do I feel like every movie review now, you're like, this is just Frankenstein?
Think about it.
The girl reads Frankenstein once when she's 30 years old. She's like,
leave me
every
alone.
Movie is Frankenstein.
You know what? It all comes back. It all comes back. You got an abandoned monster, or, was Ramón really a monster when he got flushed down that toilet? No. Society made him a monster.
Wow.
And they got what they got.
True.
I'm going to say, I feel like John Sayles probably agrees with you, who is the writer of this film, which is really funny. I guess things just come together, like, the universe comes together. So John Sayles, I'm one of the rare people, I've never seen The Howling. I know people love The Howling. And, John Sayles wrote that. I know because of that, he's really well known for, like, these kind of, like, horror, satire kind of elements. But I was looking, and he actually wrote, like, this movie I'm obsessed with that I saw as a kid that I don't think anyone else in the world ever saw. I owned it on VHS. It was called Brother from Another Planet. It's fantastic. And, obviously it's like this very heavy-handed satire of like an alien that's like a black man. He can't speak. And he basically gets like dropped in Harlem, New York. And it's just like basically kind of this like black immigrant experience in the 80s. Oh my God.
Is it like Coming to America?
Kind of maybe a little less funny than Coming to America. I'm just saying, if you see it, Joe Morton it's like he stars in it. I absolutely love this film. It's like funny and heartbreaking and like all these emotions. But he wrote that as well, and I just thought it was really funny because obviously Alligator also like very kind of heavy-handed, and it's like satire, dark comedy, social commentary aspects. A lot of evil big business going on here, and political corruption. Just what I liked in my Alligator movie.
It's pretty woke, actually. Like, I actually think Mike would have not hated this just because of like all the ACAB stuff. Like, when Marissa is like talking to the cop dude, and she makes that. Do you remember the quote?
I can't remember the quote.
Like a Freudian.
She's like quoting like someone she worked with at university or something that like studied cops or something. And I can't remember the quote, but it was very, I thought a lot of this, I was like, it's kind of impressive. They're like talking about this stuff in like this random B movie.
I like that you guys are all talking about like the complexities of the plot, and how it has all this other stuff going on, and I'm just like, Fuck, man. I remember there was way more alligator in Alligator, and I'm just so bored for chunks of it. I was like, man, where's the alligator? Where's Ramón?
No, I agree. I feel like there is a big emphasis on the story, which I didn't care half as much about as the alligator, because the alligator fucked really hard in this movie, and he was everywhere, and he was just going around, like, causing havoc, destruction. The wedding scene is my favorite.
So good.
Yeah. Well, and this is kind of the thing, and this is why I can get why Colin's like, where's this alligator? Because the thing is when Ramón is on the screen, like, it's awesome. It's like so good. And I thought everything looked so odd. Like, the scene where he's breaking out of the sewer into the city,
good.
Like,
and they're shaking the camera.
Oh my
just
god,
so quaint.
It looks so awesome, and I was just like, I'm just so into this. And I mean, it looks amazing. I know they did like practical. They had like an animatronic, but they also intertwined that with the real alligator. Which, you know, R.I.P. Morris. Morris died in May, is the alligator.
Oh, no.
He was like 80 or 85, but apparently has been in like a whole bunch of movies. But yeah, he plays Ramón, which I'm just going to say now, Ramón, such a kick-ass name for an alligator.
Great performance.
Yeah.
I need you to drop Morris's filmography in the comments later for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. As someone else is talking, I'll make sure I look up Morris's. I do believe Happy Gilmore is one of them. So,
heavy hitter.
Oh my god! And one of the movies I didn't discuss this week is I watched Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh my Christ!
Guess what? I don't need to say anything else about it.
That's it.
That's it.
Would you say it was an animatronic? I read that it was like a giant 36-foot like rubber alligator, and they had like two men in it so it could walk, one in the front, one in the back.
Yeah, so they did the suit, an animatronic. I think I'd read a miniature also.
It looked like a puppet or something at one point to me, like some of the camera shots where it was kind of like mounted to the side.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a puppet.
But this is the thing. I mean, you know, we brag on this all the time. Like, I just love the fact they use all these different things and cut them together. And, like, I mean, like we said, the kill scenes, just everything with Ramón was so epic.
Well, that's kind of like, I think when I was watching the movie, my perception of the pacing was just completely off. Because you would think Ramón breaking out in any other monster movie, creature feature, that's the third act, right? Ramón bursts from the sewers. We probably got 20 minutes left of the movie left, and he's going to cause mayhem for 15 minutes of it, right? This movie, he breaks out probably about halfway through, and then he keeps popping up for like one scene of chaos, and then he goes away for a bit. Then he comes back again, and it's just, it was a weird like choice to have him just roaming around for the latter half of the movie, and then like develop like, oh, we got the big game hunter here, and you know we're getting everyone in on the chase, and they're sweeping the sewers and all this stuff. It kind of dragged it out a little bit for my creature feature movie, I found.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it was kind of like Godzilla. He had to go back to the water to like recharge.
And see, I kind of liked it all, because I liked that there was like these like two almost competing movies going on, that there was like this like political cop drama of, you know, this guy like interfering with like chemical companies and testing and all this stuff, and then there's also just this alligator eating people, like, in the background.
It winds up being like Ramón is almost like the B plot at a certain point of the movie. It's kind of similar to my issue with Tenebrae, where I was like, when there's kills in Tenebrae and when we're actually like in the moment, it's kick ass. It's similar to Alligator, where when Ramón's in the scene and he's causing mayhem, it kicks ass. But all this cop shit off to the side, I was kind of bored with. Other than watching like Robert Forster kind of on screen, just like fumble with this lady multiple times.
Oh my God. He was trying so hard to be Tom Atkins.
he
and
was
failing.
he was, I don't know, he was something. I thought it was an interesting casting choice just to cast this guy who's clearly like balding and just have everyone in the movie mentioning it, and that he has like an insecurity, and like even when he's in bed and she's playing with his hair, you know, it's like, I'm a little sensitive to the subject and I would hope you wouldn't bring it up again or mention it again or whatever. It's like, holy God, man, let's chill.
That was a lot of drama, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Almost as much drama as Ramon.
I was reading that was all Robert Forster. Like, he was
like an actual big insecurity of his, I guess, or like, did he just feel the need to point it out?
So I was reading that he brought that into the script. Like, he was like, hey, we should like have this as a running joke throughout the movie that I'm balding. I thought he was really good as a leading man. Obviously, he's like not really known as a leading man. He's like known as like a very like, you know, strong character actor. I thought he kind of had swag in this. I was just like, I'm kind of digging it. This, you know, this just, I thought he had a real presence to him. And, you know, just because Mike's on here, and I know he'll appreciate that, like, I thought Robin Riker was also very good.
Well, I thought she was good, too. I was just so disappointed how Robert Forster kept fucking it up, like, you know?
Yeah, red flags all over that man.
Yeah, now, I was going to say, you know, we were talking about the two different movies going on here. I am curious if maybe that is, from what I read, Frank Ray Pirelli, like, did the original story outline for this. Yeah. And apparently this movie was like entirely serious. And then when John Sayles came into it, he then injected like the dark comedy satire into it. So I'm like kind of thinking maybe it was more of that like political stuff going on, more so
that would make
than
sense, yeah.
the other stuff, which I'm kind of thankful for, because as much as I like this, I don't know if I would like it as much if it was just like super straight. Like, I think part of the charm of this is that it's just like this weird offbeat dark comedy.
Another movie that we covered this year that had a lot of similar themes and basically a similar structure as well. The Host. We covered that much earlier in the year, but similar thing with, you know, basically like a company dumping waste into the river, a monster being affected by it, growing, eating everybody, you know, man.
Yeah. That's spot
Cinematic
on, actually.
parallels.
I forgot about that one.
I will say one of my qualms, as I knew this was coming up, so, you know, alligators have been on my mind and stuff. Wondering, should this maybe have been recasted and called Crocodile? Because as I was doing some research, alligators, apparently not that vicious. Everything I've read and looked at says alligators are like super shy. They're scared of humans. They basically only attack like if really provoked. Whereas crocodiles are actually the more vicious ones and will just, you know, like hunt you and eat you.
Man, it all goes back to he would have been fine had he not been flushed down the toilet and then turned into a mutant. Question, could this be in the same universe as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Maybe.
Does he like pizza?
That's like Alligator 3 or 4. Like we never made it that far, but Alligator 4 definitely has like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in it.
Amazing.
Do you think Ramon's also in like Lake Placid universe? So is Ninja Turtles also in the Lake Placid universe?
It's full circle.
And then you just got to tie back to Jaws somehow, and then you're all set.
Well,
I have another
let's tie.
Sorry.
Oh God,
No,
I was
ahead,
gonna tie it. I was gonna tie it back to Jaws.
Yes.
Let's talk about the bad Jaws theme in this movie. Whenever we do the POV shots of Ramon going through the water, and it's like it sounds like the Jaws theme with just too many beats, so it's kind of funky and not scary when he's going towards it.
I love the score in this.
Oh God, did you? I thought it was so funny, and also similarly the camera work when he would attack people, where you know the eye line would be like level with the water, and then all of a sudden he would like leap out of the water, and the camera would go up above them. And just imagine, like, we've never seen an alligator get like 3 feet of air leaping out of the water to come down on somebody, but
right,
Ramon got hops in this movie.
I read something also about like I guess that big rubber alligator, they couldn't put it in the water, like they couldn't get it wet. So I wonder like how much of that has to do with like their practical effects, and they have to like make these shots of their different types of alligator.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of planning around when they're using a puppet, when they're using the actual alligator, when they're using like a set. But yeah, it was the sort of thing where when I was watching this, it was very obvious like they were ripping off Jaws. Yeah.
I feel like every kind of movie like this made in like especially the 80s, like Piranha and everything, I feel like they're all just really capitalizing off of Jaws' success anyways.
Oh yeah.
So they have to like pander.
Well, and I had to know too, I thought it was kind of interesting because I was thinking about let me get into my own kind of Jill theme corner here. But I was thinking about like the Jaws theme of like, you know, this like town in fear, but they're like hiding it because it's, you know, like Memorial Day weekend or whatever. And you gotta have everyone come in, where this is interesting because they kind of flip that, where it's like at first they're scared, they're hiding, but then like you see everyone's like, the city's like promoting it basically, like, oh, we got to get the tourism about this giant alligator eating people, and like just really embracing it for the city. I just thought it was kind of like a witty way to like flip those themes of Jaws to make it even more connected and known that it is Jaws.
I never thought about that.
What about how frightening this movie was? There's that one shot where they're showing a map of all the sewer systems, and they're going through. Then they peel back the corner of the map, and there's the little rubber alligator there. Man, it does like a smash zoom and jump scare noise on the little rubber alligator.
You jumped.
And, oh my God, just leapt out of my chair.
That's hilarious.
There's so many like funny little things.
They're like bad jump scares throughout this movie. There's so many of them where it's just like, oh, I guess if I was 5, that would be frightening.
Yeah, it's not particularly scary. It's more like funny and kind of charming.
I found the kind of the lightness and the funniness of it was the charm of it, but which is really weird to say because as I keep saying, like the Ramón stuff looks good, the Ramón stuff is fun. I guess it's just not like scary, it's just fun to me. And and realistically, like the people he's eating, like you don't really feel bad for. It's like shitty cops and like stuff like that, like Ramon's just trying to live.
And rich people at a wedding.
Yeah, and rich people and people that are poisoning the water system. I really just like the scene of like when they're but like all the SWAT teams are showing up, and I'm just like getting the SWAT team out for Ramón. Like I just thought that was so funny, and they're like they got like bulletproof vests on and stuff. It's like, you know, you're going to get an alligator. You're not...
It's hard to be scared of him, too, when, like, he's not a good villain because you just feel bad for him, you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like a baby face. And you just want the best for him. Like, justice for Ramón. And the other thing is, too, did they ever, like, Marissa, she was a little girl that flushed it down the toilet, like, did she ever realize that was Ramón? Like I don't remember that.
No,
becoming
we needed a moment like that. That would have been a tearjerker.
Yeah, man.
She realizes, Ramón, is that you?
Yeah, like there's no connection at the end, so I was kind of like waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
I thought they were setting it up for that, honestly. Especially because she does tell the story.
I want the sequel where somehow Ramón is back and he's alive, and there's a telepathic link between her and Ramón, and they work together.
Yes,
for the forces of good.
That'd be amazing.
I like that.
That's what I need.
We definitely need that.
How about all the dead dogs in this movie? It's a very pleasant discussion. Rowan loves dead dogs in movies. I feel like this was the sort of movie he was fist pumping the entire time. There's so many dead dogs. God, it's a lot. I was shocked with how many dogs there were in this movie.
Dead dogs, and also when they go to like that scientist lab and he's like, oh yeah, I cut out their larynxes or whatever. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, real evil piece of shit.
Yeah.
The one guy from the pet shop too. I think he's the first one that Ramón eats, like after he's fully grown.
Yes.
And I was just thinking, who in their right mind would be watching this movie, see this guy die, and be like, oh my God, I feel so terrible that guy got killed by Ramón. It's like it's like instantly Ramon's like the hero of this story, realistically, right from the beginning. That's why, like, as a horror movie, I even find it hard because I'm just kind of laughing along when Ramon's, you know, rummaging about.
Yeah, he's a hero.
So just to interrupt, while you guys talked about that, I did look up Morris's filmography.
Good.
Hell yeah.
So best known for Happy Gilmore. He was the alligator in Happy Gilmore. He was also...
Guess what? Happy Gilmore 2? It's all CGI alligators.
Damn.
Oh.
He also was in Interview with the Vampire, Dr. Doolittle 2, Eraser, Blues Brothers 2000, which is a banger. I fucking love Blues.
Wow.
He was also on television shows like Coach, Night Court. He was on the Jay Leno Tonight Show. Yeah.
He has a better
famous.
career than most people we cover on this show.
Yeah, really. He retired in 2006 and lived in the Colorado Gator Farm.
Good for him.
Until his death. So, yeah. Hopefully he made enough money to support his family and, you know, they have generational wealth now.
Yeah, you'd think that they may have, like, casted some of his children in Happy Gilmore too, but I guess not.
I did enjoy reading, as I was looking just about the production and stuff for this, that I'm taking especially Ramón bursting out of the subway and, you know, kind of doing the Werewolf in London thing of, you know, crashing cars, doing that kind of thing. So
Every car that crashes in this movie has to be an explosion, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Apparently, all that stuff was like forced perspective shots, and they used the actual alligator, and they just had a miniature set because the actual alligator was only 6 feet.
What would have been if it wasn't forced perspective, Rowan? What would have they done?
I have no idea.
Did you think they just found a 20-foot alligator?
Yeah, I mean, I like to
That's
think.
great.
I like to think there's a alligator out there that you know, has some toxic material inside of it and just grew.
Chernobyl.
Okay.
Chernobyl.
Gators in Chernobyl.
Sounds like a Tubi movie. Chernobyl alligator.
That exists already 100%.
Oh yeah, there's no way it doesn't exist.
It doesn't really impact anything. Did anyone else kind of sit up in their chair a little bit when they heard, "You a friend of Ed Norton's"?
No.
You guys know Ed Norton, the famous actor? Yeah, there's a guy who, it's just like a throwaway line. It's like when two people are meeting, he goes, "Oh, are you a friend of Ed Norton's?"
Yeah, bizarre thing for them to say.
I don't even recall
It doesn't really
that.
impact anything or really matter. It was just, I was like, how?
That's
Ed
weird.
Norton. Yeah, before his time.
Shout out. Yeah, I was curious, like, alligator. I was kind of thinking as I was watching it, is it due for a reboot? Due for an upgrade? Can we get like an alligator in the theater? What's going on?
No, it would be heartbreaking. It'd be like largely CGI, and they'd have like one alligator head or alligator leg that they would put in the frame every now and then, but it would just all be CGI, and it would just be depressing. Unless they're getting Morris Jr., I don't want to see it.
I mean, maybe you need to put that remake of Leprechaun in the Hood on hold, and then you do the like Ramón reunites with Marissa. And
It'd be a tearjerker for sure. I'm going elevated horror with Ramón and Marissa, and about how she's been racked by guilt these 40 years, wondering where Ramón is.
Yeah, so to me, one of my other notes is I was just saying, you know, I guess they kind of consider like the post-Jaws craze. Obviously, all these kind of creature features that wanted to be like Jaws. And like, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking about, like, even when we get into like the 90s and stuff, and obviously we talked about like Placid, and, you know, the 90s, we get like Anaconda and all that kind of Deep Blue Sea, all that kind of stuff. Like this, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this is like up there for like pretty good, like post-Jaws recreations.
Yeah.
Wow. Great discussion. To tell you the truth, I haven't watched a lot of those creature features recently enough to really kind of compare them to Jaws. Like, I have seen Anaconda, of course, and, you know, Deep Blue Sea and shark attack movies. I've seen a bunch of creature features, but comparing them to Jaws is always so tough for me because Jaws was something I watched as a kid, but never really appreciated until I was much older. I just found Jaws kind of boring compared to, the shark attack movies. So yeah, I mean, when I was watching this, I mean, this was a solid enough movie that obviously it's taking a lot of what Jaws did and just kind of, putting it onto an alligator that, to less, less success than Jaws. Like, for example, we didn't get the scene in this where they're on the boat and they're kind of talking about how so many people were eaten by sharks and there's PTSD and all this stuff like you get from Jaws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jaws does a better job of developing the characters and then also, you care a little bit more about them when they die. Alligator, everyone who dies is kind of assholes, so I don't know if we really care. Like, do we care about the misogynistic big game hunter when he dies, or are we just like cheering that it's like a cool shot of an actually large Ramón eating him? It's like, I was just cheering because it was Ramón getting something to eat.
Yeah, same. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of apprehensive to watch this movie.
Shameful.
JAWGUST isn't like my favorite month of the year, but this this like grew on me the entire time. Like something would happen and I'd be like, okay, there's half a star for that. The guy flying into the wedding cake, the whole wedding like fiasco was hilarious and just, it was bloody. It was chaotic. Anytime, like we said, Ramón is on screen, it's amazing. I could have done without like some of the story work with the characters because, like we said, the main characters, they have a bit more, like they're a bit more solid, but all of the fodder that are killed by Ramón, we don't care about. So he's just kind of an underdog. So it's just like, it's kind of hard to compare it to Jaws and those movies in that way because the villain is just not truly a villain. But I usually these movies are really bad. Like we watched Chupa that one time on Tubi for Stream Screams. That was fucking horrible. So like usually these movies are not good, but this one, it's got charm to it. It's kind of funny at times. There's kind of like a lot going on. So I feel like you can find something to like about it.
Yeah, like that scene where the guy barges into the police station and he says he's going to blow it up. And I like looked at my phone to make a note. And then when I glanced up again, I was like, what on earth does this have to do with an alligator? I was so thrown off that I thought like I switched to a different movie or something. If it wasn't for Robert Forster and his male pattern baldness, I thought I would have been, elsewhere.
They brought it back. He needed that clock to make the bomb.
Yes. I understand that, it's Chekhov's most prolonged scene with a bomb. But it was just so bizarre. Like that came out of nowhere. Then obviously it factors heavily into the third act, but there was a lot of little scenes like that in this movie that when I was waiting for Ramón, I was just kind of like, why is this here? And that one specifically for the third act to plant the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a little silly.
I was going to say, like, to your question, like the only part of this that I really like kind of checked out or could do without it was the big game hunter thing. I was just kind of like, I get the idea for the character, but I was like, he's not in it enough to really matter. Like, there's no real like stakes of how like evil or, bad this guy is.
He needed to be in there from the beginning a little bit more, like, and it should have been this tension the entire time, which again, this is just a stupid movie, but at that point, but it's like there should have been the tension between like, oh my god, is he gonna steal Robert Forster's girl? He's hitting on her, talking to her about like alligators being romantic and being like, oh, who is this pretty girl? And shit. If you had that from the beginning, this terrible character right from the beginning, that's some more conflict.
Or even like a setup of, I was thinking about Lake Placid, where, you had the girl from the museum and then the other guy there that Oliver Platt plays, and how they like kind of don't like each other because they're like these competing interests of what you're doing with the animals and stuff. Where I was like, that would work if this guy was in it from the beginning. It's like, this guy just wants to hunt it because he's a big game hunter, which I still don't really understand. It's like, the only reason they invited him was because he's in the army and he hunts big game. That's not like a job in the army to hunt big game. You do that like on your spare time. So I'm not really sure the connection there to hire him in an official capacity. But I thought like, yeah, if they had some sort of thing where, you know, she wants to study it and preserve it because, you know, she obviously appreciates these animals. I did like her like humble flex there with the book. And she's like, yeah, you can keep that book. It just doesn't bring up that she wrote it.
How do we feel about the ending? The whole plan to kill Ramón and blow him up in the sewers? What do we feel about that? I felt like that went on for a very long time. And then also, the service I was watching on, it froze at 1 hour and 22 minutes. And it said that there was a playback error. And I had to just like start from the beginning again and scrub all the way through. And so that sequence in the sewers where I knew that, you know, Ramón was not long for this world. That was difficult for me to watch. Very upsetting.
Mm-hmm. It's fucked up what they did.
The explosion, though, is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I read that Bryan Cranston, like, Walter White worked as a special effects assistant, and he was in charge of, like, making the alligator guts and, like, rigging them to blow them up and shit.
I love that.
When I picked this movie, I had seen, when I was looking up if I wanted to pick it, I had seen that he was a special effects assistant.
That's so random.
Because he talked about in an interview recently.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. When I was watching this portion, I just thought it was insane how like detailed the explosion was. You could just tell that they completely destroyed the Ramón like animatronic or like large scale model because it was just like so gooey. And then it also like blew up the manhole and blew up a car. And I was just like, God, this is insane. Like for the ending of Alligator. And then the movie ends like 10 seconds after that. It was just... I don't know. Movies from this era, they do not overstay their welcome. Like when it's the ending, it's over. It's you get like 15 seconds and that's it.
That's it. Do you think that woman that was in that car who wouldn't drive over the manhole, do you think she died in that explosion? I was trying to figure it out. I didn't see her in the car when it was on fire.
She just drove over to another manhole.
I think she had what was coming.
I hope she died.
So what did you think about like the actual ending though, where like another alligator dropped down? Apparently this is just everyone is flushing baby alligators. This is what's going on.
What I thought was happening for sure was they were going through the sewer and you were going to see like a set of eggs.
Yeah.
And then the second one would be like 3 Ramóns. And man, oh man, what a movie that would be.
Alien Ramón edition.
And I'm just letting people know now that we're really, really going to be begging for your support on the Patreon to join up, because I did also read that there was a 1980, they released a tabletop game for this movie.
No way.
And like, yeah, I want someone to own this and tell us about it or just buy me a copy of this tabletop game. But apparently Ideal Toy Company in 1980 distributed a tabletop game based on Alligator.
That's our new Patreon goal.
Yeah.
We get to so many patrons and we'll play it live.
I will come to Newfoundland and we will make Mike play Alligator while watching it.
Oh my God. It comes with like an actual alligator, plastic alligator that opens his mouth. That looks sick.
That's awesome. The only other note I have, which is no surprise, is obviously Quentin Tarantino said that, you know, he liked this movie and this is why he casted Robert Forster in Jackie Brown, was this movie. He was like, he said he played that cop so good that he envisioned that's what the bail's bondsman would be like in Jackie Brown.
I don't know if I'm that familiar with a lot of Robert Forster's work, but since we just mentioned Walter White, and I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan, I thought he was great in Breaking Bad as the vacuum. Have you guys seen it? He's like the vacuum repair man who makes people disappear. Is Robert Forster's role in the show, where it's like coded language. You call his vacuum repair service, and he'll make you disappear, no matter like what situation you're in. What a role!
I need to look that up.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at his filmography. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of stuff he's in. Apparently, he is in the Gus Van Sant Psycho remake. He's also in one of the Scanners sequels. A lot of horror movies. I didn't realize that he was like heavy in the horror movie stuff. Maniac Cop. Yeah, like a lot of stuff like that. That's pretty wild. So obviously I just know him from Jackie Brown. So that's like my all-time Tarantino movie. So yeah, legend. What a legend. And just to bring it back to what we were talking about, he was in, he plays the voice in Godzilla, the series.
Wait, like the animated cartoon
The
series?
animated cartoon based on the American Godzilla movie from the 90s. Just a banger.
That was a wonderful show.
That P. Diddy soundtrack. Just aged so well. Do you guys have any other notes on Alligator? I feel like we talked about Alligator.
I feel like we've been spinning our wheels on this episode and our discussion of Alligator for at least 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
I hope the listeners have enjoyed it.
Yeah, we don't have Mike here to be negative, so that's a positive. Cause
that's all right. We got Jill.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we'll land the plane then and get to rating it. So if you're new to the podcast, our rating system is nay, okay, yay, or slay. Jill.
Oh, God. Don't do this to me.
What would you rate 1980s Alligator?
I have to set the tone. Okay. Like I said just now, I did not have high expectations. I actually watched this twice in the last 24 hours.
Hell yeah.
I was talking to my friend about this movie last night before I watched it, and he said to watch, I think it's called The Pool, which is another Alligator movie, which now I have to watch that one. And he said it was better, so we'll see. So yeah, I went home, I watched it. I think I was just like too tired at that point, so I put it on again this morning, and it significantly grew on me with each turn, especially every scene with Ramón on there. So it was in like nay territory for me last night. I was watching it and I was like, this is so freaking bad. But today, rewatching it, I'm going to bump it up to an okay. I don't feel like I can give it a yay because, like I said, this is not really my bag. This is not my like jam when it comes to movies. I really liked Ramón. I wanted more for him. You know, his legacy will live on. Justice for him. Pour one out for him tonight. Poor bastard has been through a lot. I thought the effects were good. I liked the way the monster looked. I like the when he would slap people with his big ass tail. Like that was a highlight for me. But it did kind of drag on with like the drama components, and I was just like not really feeling that all the time. And so yeah, it's an okay for me. What about you, Colton?
Yeah, Jill, I never thought I would say this, but I'm in agreement with you. I would also give this an okay. But it's like teetering on a yay. The reason why it just doesn't get a yay from me is that it's just too boring when Ramón is not on screen. A lot of the social commentary or like hard-boiled police detective shit, for me, often doesn't work. It's like the only person who can kind of do that and make me interested is like a David Fincher or something. And, you know, most other movies pale in comparison to David Fincher's like, you know, cop procedurals. So when it's not that, I think the movie's great. I think the practical effects are great. Morris is great. Ramón is such a badass anti-hero roaming around eating everybody. There's lots of funny over-the-top moments. I just kind of wish when he burst out of the sewers that the movie kind of like put its foot on the gas and it was just like, you know, 15 minutes of mayhem and then it was over, rather than, you know, 40 minutes of, I don't know, a mixture of alligator chaos and just drama that I just didn't really care about. So yeah, it was just a little bit more boring than I remembered, and I hopefully when we do Cujo, that'll still hold up, because that was like electric when I watched that a couple of years ago, and this one's a little bit sleepier. So yeah, it's going to be an okay from me. Rowan, where are you landing on Alligator?
I think I'm going to land on a yay. I really, really like this. I had a good time. Like I said, I kind of liked both movies going on in this, so I did kind of like that, like, political satire cop movie. And I obviously love Ramón. Let's go. We all need like matching our IP more shirts going on. But yeah, I had a good time with this. I thought the practical effects were amazing. Obviously, some of it they use real alligators, so shout out to them. The set pieces, the kill set pieces for this are just like, to me, iconic now. It's my first time seeing it, but like you guys have pointed out, like the wedding is just like in my brain now, iconic. Him busting out of the sewer, you know, him eating the big game hunter, and like the guys just drinking beer and running away and stuff. Like, I just, like Colton said, like, for sure, when Ramón is on screen, like, this is just running on 100. And to me, this would be like a Slay if it was just all Ramón. All Ramón would give me Slay territory. But I can understand, like, it's only an hour and 36 minutes, but I can understand where, when it does get into, like, the political thriller aspects of this, like, it does slow down a little bit. I just wasn't as harsh again for that being against my rating. So yeah, yay. So 2 okays and a yay for Alligator. So we told you what we thought about it, and we wanted to know what you thought about it. And we had one person that did write in. That is Holly P. She wrote in and said, "I'm an Allie hater," as Colton called me out on Letterboxd.
It's true.
I give it an okay. So same rating as Colton. She said, "Too much testosterone. Give that leading lady her own movie." I mean, I feel like Holly's just speaking for Mike here, because I feel like Mike would have said the exact same thing.
There's not enough men. Sorry. There was too much men. Not enough women in this movie.
We've brainwashed Jill.
Help me.
Is it too much testosterone or too little testosterone that leads to male pattern baldness?
Probably too much.
Well, then she's accurate, I guess.
Yeah, I guess she's right on that. But with that, let's go on to the horrific hotline, where Nicholas has left us a message on his opinion of Alligator.
All right, I just saw Alligator from the 80s, and concerning JAWGUST, on a scale from Shark Attack 2 up to Jaws, this is a solid Jaws 3, meaning that it is basically shit, but it is somehow entertaining, and I don't really know why and how. It is a blatant ripoff of the first Jaws, and has a bit of this feeling like it's one of those Italian late 70s, early 80s ripoff movies.
That sounds good to me.
The plotline follows this detective who kind of fights an alligator in the canals. And if that sounds stupid, it is so because it is stupid. And it looks rather cheap. Well,
take that back.
Luckily, it was made in the 80s, so we do get a practical effects alligator, and in a very few limited shots, I think an actual alligator. But they don't handle that creature like they did the shark in Jaws, for example. They show it off way too often. It looks clunky. There are some, or way more, killings and blood than in Jaws, but overall the movie doesn't really feel all that brilliant, probably because it isn't. I'm hating a lot on this movie. I'm a bit sorry. I'll still come out at an okay because it is somewhat fun to watch in this so bad it's entertaining way, kind of what we all hoped for Gothica 2 weeks ago. And this kind of works for this movie, but is a weak okay, and mostly through the final 15 minutes when the alligator smashes a wedding party and basically eats half the people and kind of kills the other half by just hitting them with its tail. I don't know. Yeah, it's a movie. It's a weak okay. It is somewhat entertaining, and there is blood in the movie. If that sounds like a good thing, then great. If it doesn't, then better not watch it.
That was like the most scathing Nicholas review I've heard in quite a while. And he still landed on an okay.
I like him and Holly scathing and agree with Colton and Jill on the rating.
Yeah. Well, maybe I need to bump it up at this point now if they're hating the movie and still giving it an okay. But I wish, like, those sequences where Ramón crashes the wedding, I needed like one shot of Ramón up at the front, you know, at the aisle with the arch around him, you know, maybe the wedding veil on his head, you know, just kind of
like that.
roaring.
I like where you're going with that.
You needed a shot like that. You needed a few more just fun shots like that. Also, they didn't use a real shark in Jaws. Morris is way better. It's a real alligator stomping around for big portions of this movie. Come on.
I got an idea for if we do like a requel. We'll go the full Frankenstein route. We'll bring him back to life, reanimate the alligator, and he demands a mate. So bride of Ramón also reanimated and stitched together from all the bits that they picked up in the sewer. Frankengator. Oh my God. Someone get on it right now. Make it.
That's definitely already on Tubi.
Let's find it. Google it.
And if you want to be like Nicholas and hate on one of the movies we're reviewing, you could do so at It Slays Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Slasher, Letterboxd, Threads, Bluesky, TikTok. If there's a social media, we're probably there at It Slays Podcast. And if you want to send us a voicemail, we'll make sure that it makes the air. And if you want to help support the show financially, like our horror hounds Holly, Nicholas, Mark, Steven, Dan, Brian, Trevor, and James, gain access to the Patreon exclusive show Stream Screams, hosted by Jill, and get episodes of this here main show 48 hours early. Be sure to head on over to patreon.com/itslayspodcast and choose whatever tier works best for you. Rowan, we mentioned the music briefly in this movie, but
I said I liked it, and
yeah, there's no killer tracks really.
Yeah, I'll have to evaluate it, see if it makes the cut. Maybe I was just so into it that I was like, oh yeah, let's get going, and it's kind of weak. We'll test it out. If it makes it, it'll be on Spotify at the It Slays Podcast Horrific playlist. If you have any problems finding it, you can go to any of the social media that Colton just mentioned. Go in the bio, click the Linktree link. It'll take you directly there. We upload scores or licensed music from iconic horror movies we review, or just horror movies we love. So follow it. We update it regularly, and get your spooky music on, because why the hell not? And then just to remind everybody, because this will be out before then, that I will be at Lower Sackville Cineplex August 6th with TerrorVision, doing the showing of the original Friday the 13th. I've got some Friday the 13th box sets ready to give away. I think it's like 1 to 8 box sets on Blu-ray, so be there so you can get some. Doors open at 6:30, and the pre-show and feature presentation starts at 7:30, and it's gonna be a good time. I saw that that Josh at TerrorVision announced they're interviewing Annie. I think it's Annie, the camper from the beginning that gets killed. He's doing an interview. The pre-show interview is with her.
Nice.
So it'll be kind of cool. It's always interesting to get people that worked on it and get their opinions of it. I like it because they're usually like older and like have done 8,000 other things since then, and they're like, you're talking about Friday the 13th, and they're always just like, I don't remember doing that. Like, I did it because I needed money. But yeah, they're always fun. So yeah, make sure you go. Tickets, I think, are like $18. It's usually pretty packed, so it's always a good time with everybody. So all that is left is to announce our next episode, and it's a Mike pick. So he did send me his pick. I thought about not giving him one because he didn't make it to Alligator and he didn't enjoy in the Ramón. I talked to him all morning about how good Alligator was. He refused to believe me. I tried to change the subject many times whenever he talked about something else, being like, you need to buy Alligator on 4K, not whatever else you're buying, buy Alligator. He wasn't listening to me, but he has picked David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers. So get your eyeballs on that one.
And how does that relate to JAWGUST?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He'll have to make his case.
All right.
We will expect him to explain it. But yeah, so obviously also I should clarify it's the original Dead Ringers. I know there is like a mini series on Amazon. It's not that. It is the original movie. So get your eyeballs on Dead Ringers, and we will be back very soon with another episode. As always, thank you for all the support. I'm your humble host, Rowan.
I'm Colton.
Bye, it's Jill.
See you later, alligator.
Oh my god, he said the thing!